Hello, my friends. This is Rachel Markin, your happy stamper lady, helping the creative you shine through. I'm super excited to be a part of the mini catalog launch with a whole bunch of other wonderful demonstrators and friends, and we're going to show you all the amazing new things from the mini catalog. Let's get started. So I got to choose my stamp set, and I chose Perfectly Detailed. Now, the reason I chose this is because as soon as I saw this stamp set, I knew I wanted to cut them out into individual pieces. I know, super crazy. I'm a little bit quirky that way, but I just knew that I wanted this frame. I wanted the flower separately, another frame, and then the leaves to be able to use all on their own. So you can keep it as one big set, or you can take it apart. Now, that is the beauty of Stampin' Up, is it does let you individualize what you want to use. So you'll notice that in the supplies, I say Perfectly Detailed, and I have MC beside it. That's mini catalog. Everything else is AC, and that's annual catalog. So the words we're going to use today are coming from this lovely You stamp set, which I think needs to be revisited. I love the different fonts in the words themselves. This is a very, very versatile set, and I really, really like it. Some other things that we're going to need is a piece of white cardstock cut at 8.5 by 5.5. It is bigger than a normal card size because you're going to want to have a handle and cut around it and not have to measure to make your frame fit exactly where you need it to be. Another thing we're going to use, this is going to be our main card. This is called Tea Boutique Cards and Envelopes, and it comes in the new in colors. Excuse me. This is Tahitian Tide, Starry Sky, Orchid Oasis, Parakeet Party, and Sweet Sorbet. These cards come with matching envelopes, and they are cut at your regular card size, which is 5.5 by 4.25. What I love about the envelopes is that they have a strip of the matching card front, and they already have flowers printed onto the envelopes. This is a beautiful set, and it is $10 for 20 cards and 20 envelopes. That is a wonderful deal. And then the other item that we're going to use is Tea Boutique DSP. Now the DSP, I cut it cardstock size. I cut it Love It Chop It style, which is a Kylie Bertucci. She and her husband Bruno came up with the Love It Chop It. And so it is 5.25 by 4 inches and a 12 by 12 piece. You'll get 9 sheets and 9 card fronts out of one piece of paper. And so here are the papers that I use today. Now you'll notice there's different color in there. The Fresh Freesia is in the DSP set, and I love that, and I decided to use that today. So your stamp pads are Starry Sky, which is one of the new in colors, the Fresh Freesia, and the Memento Black ink. Now, the in colors, the beautiful thing about that is that Stampin' Up! Will every year come out with 5 new colors, and I love that because it's always refreshing your colors. You have your color families, but then you have these new colors coming out, and I love that. And I am using the Stamparatus, which should be one of your best friends. I'm just telling you. So I have already done many cards, and so I mark my grid paper. The grid paper does not come with it, but the magnets do, and so do the plates. And on my grid paper, you'll see this little mark here. So every time I wanted to stamp this, as long as I put it there and put my magnets on, it's always in the same place. And if you need to re-stamp, okay, if you need to redo part, like, oh, maybe that didn't come out as well as I would like it to, or however, you can go back, stamp again. You saw that I already have that stamped, and then you can stamp again, and it's not going to smudge or smear or look like mirrored image, a smeared image, I guess. So, oh, and the thing that you saw me use here, hilarious. This is a hockey puck, air hockey puck piece. I thought that was hilarious. Okay, I'm going to take that off, and I'm going to take the plate off. The reason is because we want to keep the video going. So I have stamped. So this is one that didn't stamp as well. So I could go back and finish that. Once I've stamped, I cut that out. But you don't want to watch me fussy cut that. So this also shows you how tight the magnets stick, and they do break. Ask me how I know that. They broke when I got mine. So you will then cut out with your paper snips. This is another tool that I love from Stampin' Up. They're very sharp and they cut very, very detailed. So I cut out the frame. That's why I wanted the paper bigger. It's bigger than it needs to be, obviously, but I like that because I'm not measuring and I don't have to worry, oh, did I get it right where I wanted it to be? Then once you do that, you're going to add dimensionals, which you also do not need to watch me do. So we don't care about watching me do dimensionals, do we? Nobody wants to have to see that. Then we're actually going to do the card base. So I had it over here on this side. So here's what we're going to do with the card base. Sorry, I think I already have one of those as an example. I want to show you one that I did not do yet. So on our card base, you're going to take the base of the card and you're going to turn it sideways. And I want this part facing me because I want the white part where you're actually going to do the card is what you're looking for. And you're going to set this down. And again, you'll see I have another mark there on this spot up here. This was for my card base, so I could remind myself this is where you want to set your card every time so that you can stamp and come back to it. Stamp and come back to it. That is one of the beauties. There are many beauties of the Stamparatus, but that is one of them and that I love. I also just love the base to stamp on. I think that the base to stamp on is wonderful as well. So now I'm taking my Starry Sky and I'm going to do a frame inside with part of the frame from the perfectly detailed stamp set. I don't know. I just really thought this was really cool, but I liked having all the options of having them separate. Look at how gorgeous that frame is. Again, beauty of the Stamparatus, you have 2 plates that come with it, and that means you have 4 surfaces that you can stamp with. So you flip your plate, and then you can have your word, and I measured all this out ahead of time. I laid everything out, laid my stuff out, and I was like, that's where I want my words to go. And so then every time you go to stamp, you can stamp in the same spot. You do not have to remeasure, and you do not have to worry about it moving, smushing, causing you shadow issues, that kind of thing. Cherished friend, look at that. Okay, I'm going to take that plate off as well. Let's get that out of the way for now, but my plates are over to the side and that allows me to go back and stamp again if I want to, right? That's the beauty of that. So now that we've done that, before we attach the outside, if you want to add more on the inside, which I do, I like to do stuff on the inside as well as the outside. I'm going to take that flower, and I had stamped the flower earlier, so I'm going to clean it off with the chamois. This is just another one of the nice tools that we have that cleans off your stamps for you. And I'm going to start with the fresh freesia. I'm going to take that beautiful flower, mount it on one of our blocks. We have a wonderful block assortment for you that you can choose from that I adore. And then I'm going to stamp the fresh freesia first. And look at these beautiful flowers that we have stamped in there. And then we're going to complement those flowers with the Starry Sky. So you'll notice that I tried to stay with just a few stamp sets and a few stamp pads when I stamp, and you can still get a really big multi-image with that without using a lot of product. And speaking of product, the ladies that have put this together have just done a phenomenal job. And so I have put together, the list up here is for you that you can see, but also while you're doing this party, you'll find the link to go shopping with me, and you'll also find the link that will tell you in detail the supplies once again, in case you're like, oh, I forgot, I didn't catch that. So you can see it more than one time. Okay, flower done. So now we're going to assemble this card and we're done. So we're going to start by adding one of these little brushed butterflies on the inside so that the inside of your card is completely finished. Isn't that gorgeous? And then on the outside, remember we already put our dimensionals on. So we've got this beautiful piece. We're going to attach this piece first with our dimensionals. And then with that DSP that I showed you, I stamped a whole bunch of these flowers, and then I'll sit down and watch one of my shows. Like I like mystery shows and stuff like that. And I'll watch a show and cut out flowers while I'm doing that. It's one of my favorite things to do. So I also have dimensionals on these flowers already. So that's ready to go. And I'm going to use my glue to glue some of the other flowers on there. So let's start with that. I like to glue and then do the dimensional flowers so they kind of pop up over top of the flowers. And that gives you a nice layered effect as well. So we'll start with this flower here. Lay it down. Look how pretty that is. And then, well, let's see. What do we want? We'll do this flower. There doesn't have to be any rhyme or reason. Now, the only thing I was looking at, the reason I pulled that up is because you don't want it to go over the edge of your card, obviously. That would be bad. You wouldn't want that. And then, let's see, we'll put this down here. Again, there's no right or wrong. And the other thing is, one thing that I like to do is I'll enjoy watching videos, and then you can say to yourself, well, I don't necessarily have those supplies. I don't have what she has. But the beauty is that you can take the same idea, make it your own with other DSP you already have, other colors you already have. Maybe these aren't your colors. Maybe you like different colors than this. That's fine. We have lots of colors to choose from, lots of DSP, and you're going to see amazing things from so many demonstrators this weekend that's going to just give you tons and tons of ideas of fun things that you can create for yourself. So now I'm just adding some random butterflies because I love butterflies. Everybody should have a little bling and butterflies. Look at how beautiful this card is and really pretty simple. So the main thing that we wanted to show off today is the perfectly detailed. I have some other cards in the colors. So all that's different is the background colors. And then I changed up how I laid the flowers. Isn't this lovely? Such a pretty piece. And it all came from this perfectly detailed, which is new in the mini catalog, which is what we're showing off in our mini catalog launch. So I'm super, super excited that I got to spend some time with you today and to show off this wonderful new stamp set and maybe give you a different way to look at stamp sets for yourself that maybe it's not exactly what you want, but you could find a new way to make it work for you. So let's go back to the face screen. I'm super excited that I was able to be a part of this. I actually have been sick for a couple years. I had a mass removed from my head about 4 months ago. Obviously, that needed to come out. That was horrible. And this is the first time I've stamped and the first video I've done in 6 months. So thank you for letting me be a part of this and to join you in this fun new catalog launch. And until I see you again, go and make the world a better place. We all have a unique gift to make the world a better place. And I hope to talk to you soon, and I bid you adieu.